What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Fandom United. My name is Gio, and I am finally doing news recap again. Guys, real quick before we get to the news, I talked about going back to work a couple weeks ago and that this channel isn't going anywhere. And I'm right about that. I'm still here. The channel is not going anywhere. However, I didn't realize just how much work I would be doing during a labor shortage here in California. I mean, labor shortage is nationwide here in the States, but for the past couple of weeks, it's just been a grind. I mean, we're talking 12, 13-hour days. And now that unemployment, the bonus has ended in California, I'm starting to see a number of resumes, applications coming in, and hopefully that means I don't have to work so many hours so I can get back to doing what I love with this channel, and that's giving you guys news recaps, reactions, etc. So hopefully this is a start for getting back into the groove. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. Let me know how things are with you as far as back to work, and if you have been experiencing any sort of hiccups with labor shortage and whatnot. I'd be curious. But you guys are here for some movie news, and this is news recap for September 10th. We got a plethora of topics. We got some topics going back 2, maybe 3 weeks. And that's on me. I'm going to try my best to stay on top of it now that, like I said, things should be getting a little bit easier at work. But we're going to start off with this is not really a reaction. I wish I could have done a reaction on the channel, but that Matrix Resurrections trailer, I couldn't get enough of it. I could not. And this is a movie that I have been talking about for quite some time, going back to months ago when I first brought up the rumors for Matrix 4, which wasn't titled Resurrections at the time. So called it Matrix Resurrections. But I do want to bring up one image that's going around the internet. And it kind of confirms what I've been hearing about what they plan to do with this fourth movie. Tell me what you see. It's a shot from the trailer, and it appears somebody is watching the first Matrix movie. That is Keanu Reeves as Mr. Anderson when he first exits the Matrix into the real world. You remember, he was sitting in a chair. He looked at the mirror. The mirror went from cracked to complete. He touched the mirror, and that little, I don't know what it was called, started spreading throughout his body, went inside him, and then he was transported to the real world where the machines take over. What does this mean? We've heard rumors that, first off, there were comparisons that the Matrix Resurrections is a lot like Free Guy, and I haven't seen Free Guy yet. Okay, I've been working my ass off. Apologies, I will watch Free Guy, but from what I'm hearing, the three movies, the original Matrix movies, will be sort of like a something that exists in this Matrix Resurrections world, where it was all kind of a virtual simulation of sorts. So that's pretty damn interesting. And that trailer, again, that trailer blew everybody's expectations. I mean, Matrix Resurrections went from 0 to 100 on everybody's meter. Now, nobody's saying it's going to be a guaranteed hit, but I think that trailer did enough to get everyone excited for a fourth Matrix movie almost 20 years later. I think maybe 18 years, if I'm not mistaken. But nevertheless, I wanted to show you guys that image right there. Interesting. Sort of a blink and you'll miss. Let me know what moments stood out to you, the Matrix Resurrections trailer. I love that shot where they're walking through the mirror and it seems like they entered another reality, and I'm excited for it. Okay, Keanu Reeves with the John Wick look, Carrie Ann Moss back, Yahya Abdul-Mateen as a young Morpheus, which they never confirmed, but why would they? That's pretty much the case. All right, Yahya Abdul-Mateen with the glasses, holding the red pill and the blue pill. Now, come on, now that's young Morpheus. But nevertheless, let's move on. You guys know on these videos, I like to talk about reactions. Well, we have some social media reactions to an upcoming Will Smith movie called King Richard. King Richard is pretty much the story of Richard Williams, who is the father of Venus and Serena Williams, and how he pretty much raised them and set them up for success to become the icons of women's tennis, professional tennis. And the social media reactions are very, very promising. And also Oscar buzz, Oscar worthy. Let's start with Movie Mance. And he says, King Richard, excellent film. A rousing, feel-good crowd pleaser about the rise of tennis superstars Venus and Serena Williams. Oscar noms for Will Smith, lead actor, and Ingenue Ellis, supporting actress. Maybe best pick. Loved from start to finish. Next one comes from Scott Feinberg, who says, don't remember ever choking up during a movie as much as I did during King Richard. It's the most amazing story told so well. I ballboyed for Venus, got to know Mr. Williams, practiced at Massey's Academy. They nailed it all. Will Smith is going to be hard to beat. The film, too. Man. Last one comes from Scott D. Menzel. He says, King Richard is an inspirational, feel-great film that is certainly going to get a ton of awards attention. Will Smith delivers his best performance since The Pursuit of Happiness. And don't be surprised if Ingenue Ellis gets a supporting actress nomination too. Hashtag King Richard. All right. That's what I'm talking about, man. I am rooting for Will Smith to get his Oscar. I think the man is a generational talent. I mean, you talk about, okay, he started off as a rapper, and then he goes to sitcoms, Fresh Prince, dominates television as far as comedy sitcoms in the mid-90s, then goes to blockbusters. And remember, there was a time when Will Smith, every time he had a movie coming out, he was like, that was box office gold. It was June, July. He was the box office king of the summers in the early 2000s. And then, he does Oscar-worthy performances for The Pursuit of Happiness, a movie that I absolutely love, a movie that's still, I think, a movie that gets everyone as far as the moment where he finds out that he gets the job. I know, spoiler, whatever, it's 15 years later. But this is a movie that, first off, I'm not the biggest tennis fan. I'm not going to pretend like I follow women's tennis. But even if you're not even familiar with tennis, you know who Venus and Serena Williams, who they are. You've heard of them. You're familiar with them. Those two are tennis icons. And the fact that we're getting a biopic on their upbringing with Will Smith playing their father, I've been circling this movie for a while now. This movie has everything on paper to be one of the Oscar darlings, Oscar buzz, heavy awards contender this season. And from the early reactions, it appears Will Smith will at the very least be in contention for an Oscar nomination, Best Lead Actor. And I'm happy for the guy. I can't wait to check out the movie. Let's go to a bit of a controversial topic statement from one Patty Jenkins, the director of Wonder Woman. She was recently at CinemaCon this year and talked about movies on streaming services. And listen to what she had to say. She said this via the LA Times. All of the films that streaming services are putting out, I'm sorry, they look like fake movies to me. I don't hear about them. I don't read about them. It's not working as a model for establishing legendary greatness. You still upset about Wonder Woman 84 going to HBO Max, Patty? Because, okay, I've been a defender of Wonder Woman 84. Okay, I like it a little more than most people. I think it's a heavily flawed movie, but ultimately a feel good movie, one with some hope and inspiration. There are definitely some things that could have been executed better in the movie. And let's just say that movie didn't really do the Wonder Woman character any favors. Kind of like how Birds of Prey for Harley Quinn. Um, Patty, for you to say that movies on streaming look fake. By the way, get your copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League at your local store, or stay tuned. I will be giving copies away during my coverage of DC Fandom. We'll get to DC Fandom next. You know, I just I can't believe what Patty Jenkins said about streaming movies looking fake. Okay, if anything, streaming movies are giving life to middle budget action movies, adventure movies again. Okay, because studios, when it comes to theatrical releases, all they care about are franchises, IPs, whatever is going to get them the most money, whether it's a monster movie, a comic book movie, another Fast and the Furious movie, etc., etc., etc. But thanks to streaming, you get a little more creativity from artists and whatnot. And for Patty Jenkins to say those movies look fake, I don't hear about them, I don't read about them, that's just ignorance and a little bit of toxicity. Okay. Look, I've defended Wonder Woman 84. Okay, I just said that, but let's not act like Wonder Woman 84 was this movie. Okay, and Patty Jenkins better be thankful for this because this movie reminded people of how badass Wonder Woman could be. Whereas Wonder Woman 84, and just go to Twitter, type in Wonder Woman 84, and you'll see a lot of shots being fired at that movie. But like I said, that movie, I get what Patty Jenkins was trying to do, but it didn't work, and it hurt. It hurt the Wonder Woman character. But thankfully, this movie, released a couple months later, and helped restore some of that image. So Patty Jenkins, I strongly disagree with you, and I think you need to start respecting streaming services because movies like Batgirl, Blue Beetle, projects like Black Canary, and possibly the Amazonian spinoff, which I hope is an HBO Max series, those wouldn't exist without streaming. And Leo DiCaprio is coming out with a movie soon on Netflix. So stop disrespecting streaming services. I love you, Patty Jenkins. You're talented. You're beautiful. I am still excited for Rogue Squadron, but you should have worded that better. Or if you don't have anything good to say, then. Anyways, DC Fandom. The trailer released, and it's for October 16th. And we have a poster here, and not much Snyder representation. I mean, not everything has to be DC Snyder, okay, but Jesus Christ. Where's Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman? I know I just threw some shade at Wonder Woman 84 and Patty Jenkins, but still, Gal Gadot's still great as Wonder Woman. We see Jason Momoa's Aquaman. They got Tyler Coughlin's Superman from Superman and Lois. No Henry Cavill Superman still. They got Matt Reeves' Batman, who I'm excited about. You got John Cena's Peacemaker, which I'm excited about. I don't know. Let me know if you are. I don't think a lot of people are still. Super Pets, Ezra Miller's Flash, Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam. So we know we're going to get trailers, okay, for Black Adam, which finished production, principal photography. We're going to get a teaser trailer for The Flash. We're going to probably get a concept art, maybe some more images of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And Shazam! Fury of the Gods, a movie that it keeps my level of anticipation keeps raising for that movie. I think we get a teaser trailer for that one. So there's going to be a lot of exciting projects. And this is happening on October 16th, 2021 at 10 p.m. Pacific time. So stay tuned. I will be covering DC Fandom on the channel as well as another YouTube channel. It's going to be a fun day. I can't wait for it. It's going to be 4 hours plus a post-show conversation of just pure awesomeness for all DC fans. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to cross our fingers that David Ayer's Suicide Squad, #release the Ayer cut, is a surprise announcement. There's been a lot of momentum recently about that. I'm going to cross my fingers that Ben Affleck is still interested in doing an HBO Max series based on his Batman script. If you guys noticed on social media, Leslie Grace, who was just announced as the new Batgirl, followed Ben Affleck. I wonder why. J.K. Simmons returning as Commissioner Gordon. J.K. Simmons, Commissioner Gordon, and Batgirl were both in Ben Affleck's original script for his Batman movie. So maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it could be one of the surprise announcements. I don't think Ben Affleck is done playing Batman after The Flash, even though a lot of people seem to be pushing that narrative. Nevertheless, let's move on. Speaking of Ben Affleck, we got confirmation that The Accountant is getting a sequel. The 2016 movie, I believe, starring Ben Affleck and, who plays the Punisher? John Bernthal and J.K. Simmons as well, and Anna Kendrick. Here's what director Gavin O'Connor had to say via CinemaBlend. There will not be a Way Back sequel, which starred Ben Affleck, the basketball movie, but we are doing an Accountant sequel. We literally just closed that deal. We are doing The Accountant again. Yes. I've always wanted to do 3 because what the second one's going to be more with, we're going to integrate his brother into the story. So there'll be more screen time for Bernthal in the second one. And then the third movie is going to be, I call it Rain Man on steroids. The third movie is going to be 2 brothers, this odd couple. The third one is going to be a buddy picture. Wow. So he has plans for a trilogy, and presumably Ben Affleck, who loves working with director Gavin O'Connor, will be a part of all 3 movies. But the fact that we're getting a sequel finally, I was a little bit worried. About The Accountant not getting a sequel because so much time has passed. But it's one of those movies that play on TNT quite often, and I'm glad it does because I hope more people give it a chance and watch it. It's pretty underrated. I don't hear it talked about enough. But Ben Affleck was perfect in that role. Autism awareness, hell yeah. And also John Bernthal, the 2 of them as brothers, little reunion at the end. Oh, I just spoiled. Sorry, but it's been 5 years. Okay, I'm happy that they are doing a sequel to The Accountant, and let me know your thoughts if you guys are interested. That's good stuff. What's not good stuff is a couple of movies are getting pushed back, and we're going to start with the one that was announced today, and that's the Mad Max Fury Road spinoff, Furiosa. Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron in Fury Road. In this spinoff, it will star Anya Taylor-Joy, as well as Chris Hemsworth and Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Unfortunately, this movie will be pushed back almost an entire year from June 2023 to May 2024. I don't know. They didn't give a reason as to why, but knowing George Miller, very ambitious filmmaker, a lot of practical stunts, I gotta assume they need more prep time. And by all means, take it. Okay, we've been dealing with delays and movies begin pushed back for the last 18 months, okay? But this movie I can wait for, because if it's anything like Mad Max Fury Road, that movie was an experience. It was a spectacle. It was an epic. And I'm excited to see what George Miller does with this cast right here. Also moving back is two of Tom Cruise's upcoming movies, ones that we've been waiting for over a year now. Unfortunately, Top Gun Maverick has been pushed back from November of this year to May 2022 Memorial Day weekend. And Mission Impossible 7, which we've only gotten like one or two official images, but a lot of set photos, has been moved from May 2022 to September 2022. Ouch. But Tom Cruise, he's all about that theatrical release. His movies, I will say, they do deserve to be seen on the big screen, okay? Again, I go back to what I've said, like streaming movies and theatrical movies can coexist. The theatrical movies, they'll always be there as long as these big budget spectacle event movies happen. And Tom Cruise, his movies deserve to be seen on the big screen, absolutely. If anything, for the insane stunts that Tom Cruise tends to do in his movies, going back to the past decade with Ghost Protocol and him climbing the tower in Dubai. I've heard some crazy stuff as far as Mission Impossible 7 coming out of CinemaCon. And Top Gun Maverick, we've seen the trailers. They actually put cameras in the cockpit. Tom Cruise is actually flying the fighter jets. As much as I want to see these movies like right now, okay, they do deserve to be seen on the big screen for everyone. And unfortunately, we're not there yet. And especially for Tom Cruise, he wants every theater to be open, available, no limits, so everyone can enjoy his work. And so hopefully next year, knock on wood. And finally, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. We have an official rating. Unfortunately, it is PG-13. Not a fan of that. I really wish it were R-rated. I get it. PG-13 so everyone can watch it, so the kids can watch it. Blah, 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 blah. If you have Carnage in a movie with Venom, it should be R-rated with Andy Serkis directing. But whatever. PG-13, I guess. And it's reportedly 90 minutes, an hour and a half. That's very short for a comic book movie, especially in this day and age. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm a little more, I won't lie. My excitement has gone down a little bit. The fact that it's PG-13. I think you have a movie with Carnage and you want to do it right, you do it R-rated. What are you afraid of? I mean, maybe you just want to make all the money you can make during a pandemic. And if the Suicide Squad taught us anything, it's that being an R-rated movie in a pandemic with streaming service day-and-day release. Now, Venom Let There Be Carnage won't have a day-and-date release. It will be theaters only. But I think Sony looked at the Suicide Squad and said, we just can't take that risk. We've already pushed this movie. We pushed a lot of movies back. I can see where they decided to make it PG-13, but still, it's like, just make it R-rated, okay? Or push it back even further if you want. Give it a January release or a February release or something like that. I think the R rating, I think we're gonna watch the movie and we're gonna see, oh yeah, that definitely should have been R rated, or I can tell that they cover that up in PG-13 with the quick cuts and whatnot. Nevertheless, though, we'll see what happens. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on Fandom United for news recap for September 10th. I almost forgot what date it was. These days are flying by now that I'm back at work, but I appreciate you guys hanging with me and being patient and all that. Again, this channel isn't going anywhere. And first time doing this in a couple of weeks, getting back into the groove of it. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your subscriptions. Until next time, you guys take care.